Yes, okay, there we go. For some reason, that was showing just a weird picture. I'm going to make sure that audio is good, but for now, let me go on and refresh this baby. Hello, hello, Aaron. There you are. Cool. Checking the audio. Make sure the audio is coming out nice and strong. There is some distortion. I gotta have 2023 begin without that distortion. So let's see if the audio works out. I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna stay nothing for a sec. Oh yeah, sounds awesome. I don't need to have this on right now. I'm gonna turn that off for now. Cool. So welcome in. Jerry, Venkata, Sharon, and Blake are all here. Welcome in. Hello, Aaron from the Central Coast of California. Oh, Central Coast. I love Central Coast, Sharon. I lived in Pacific Grove. You know the Central Coast, you know Pacific Grove. Obviously, everyone knows Pacific Grove when they know what it's completely next to. Famous Carmel by the Sea and Monterey. But just love the Central Coast. A huge, huge, huge fan. Obviously, as everyone who's ever been there has become. I found that. Oh, yeah, that's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for next. Dee-ba-da-doo. What is it called? It's called this. Yes. All right. And I got a message. My, what did I get a message about? Oh, yeah. That's right. Do-boop-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Got a Christmas song, a recently created Christmas song stuck in my head. Just dots and what is it called? Oh yeah, row. Dots and row. Save. And I am going to delete. Okay, I can keep that in. Oh, I want to undo that. I want to keep this. And then, yeah, I'm going to kill the rest of this. Cool. Well, maybe I'll keep this. Maybe I'll keep this. Yeah, why not? That'll be fun, because then I can share that. Sweet. So we are looking at 5 minutes to go. 4 minutes and 38 seconds, in fact. Chris Woodruff's here. Daryl's here. Greetings from South Alabama, Daryl. Hey, welcome in. Now I'm thinking, is Alabama close enough to go and enjoy the Okefenokee? No. Yeah, Okefenokee Swamp. What is the other place that's out there? It is Okefenokee, which makes me feel like I'm saying finocchi, which is an Italian like vegetable entree or appetizer. Anyhow, Morro Bay, sweet. She knows the area. She's from Morro Bay. Morro Bay's just more south, along. I think, yeah, of course, you have to cross the bridge, the famous awesome bridge. It's a name. Why can't I think of it right now? Oh, well, cool. We're going live in 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Let me make sure I have everything. Oh, a battery. Right, I got that plugged in. Boom. Big Sur, of course. I couldn't come up with it. Obviously, Big Sur. Very famous. The B Bridge, the Bixby Bridge. That's the other one I was trying to think of at Big Sur. Man, I love that place. Okay, so welcome in. I'm wishing I was out there on the Central Coast. I know it's not exactly crazy warm right now, but it's way warm compared to here. Hey guys, I am live tonight for Milky Way Wednesday. So I can't make it. Enjoy your chat, Chris. Cool. My friends are inviting me somewhere, but I'm busy. I got priorities. So then, no, it's cloudy. Dang it. Oh, probably about a 6-hour drive to Okefenokee. Okay, Daryl hasn't any better access to Okefenokee than truly Georgia does. Because I know that my buddy Dave is out in Georgia, and he's like, my closest area was Okefenokee for a dark sky, but then he drove up and met us in North Carolina, and he found that's even faster and easier to get to than the 8-hour drive he would have had to make. Viet Win is here. Welcome back, Viet. Win is back. Win is back. Good evening, Aaron from Houston, Texas. So Dave is like, I could go 8 hours to Okefenokee or 5 hours up to North Carolina. And Kathy's here. Sweet. Are you still doing your webinar tomorrow? Actually, no. I'm not going to do it tomorrow night, actually, no. I needed to push that to Sunday. Got to get a bigger crowd for the webinar. In fact, I'll be talking to you all about that. Oh, wow, less than a minute? Okay. Well, I'm ready. I got plenty to go about. Go on and on and on and on about. Oh, I need to swap this. And I'm going to put this over here. And then bring in you, Streamlabs. Oh, we're just about to go live. Woohoo! 20 seconds. 20 seconds and counting. Everyone get ready. Lights, camera, action. Let's do this. It's Milky Way Wednesday, and one of the last, because I got to update a calendar. Oh, the link. I also need to get the link, but we'll be able to pull that up live. No problem. 2, 1, 0. It's Milky Way Wednesday, and it's one of the final Milky Way Wednesdays that we have for the remainder of the year. Welcome in. I'm Aaron King with Photog Adventures. I've been doing Milky Way Wednesday all year long. In fact, when I was writing the email to everyone on the email list saying, hey, remember, Milky Way Wednesday tomorrow night, I was finding that we actually had 30 plus videos this year, which makes sense, obviously. 52 weeks. I should have 40 plus videos, but I know that with workshops and not being live on some weeks, it turned out to be some pre-recorded videos for 6 weeks. So 6 weeks off of that is already off the 52, so I'll be down to 46. Wait, that's not good math. No, that's accurate math. You're not wrong. And then also the weeks that you missed, yeah, it makes sense that I'm down in the 30s. Hey, Gon says, well, hey, checking in again as last Wednesday. Greetings from La Paz, Bolivia. Thanks for all the amazing content, Aaron. Well, thanks, man. Wow. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. If it wasn't for this bar right here, this would be a perfect place for me to put the chat, for where I can look at the chat here, but it also looks like I'm looking and reading it from right there. I'm loving that. Okay, I really like this setup, but maybe I need to get a longer arm, a higher arm where it comes up and then just comes straight down. Mohammed El Mohammadi, welcome in. Yes. I haven't seen that name in a while. Mohammed, welcome in. Welcome in. I'm so stoked. I saw you and Win today. You guys are two names that I haven't seen on Milky Way Wednesday in quite some time. I'm glad you could make it. Maybe you were here last week and I didn't notice it. I apologize for that. Why is this slide? Ah, I see. Yeah. Yeah, we'll start off with this. Okay, yeah, that's a good place to start it off. Well, I'll do it there. Okay, cool. So today, as I was talking about interesting things. Oh, wait, no, Aaron, you weren't. You weren't talking about interesting things. You were rambling about stuff that was cool to you, but no one else. Right. Yeah, that's true. I was doing that. The thing about our schedule, if everyone remembers that we are, maybe I will pull this back because it's going to be in the way of this. I'm going to go over to my main screen. As everyone recalls, in the previous week, I believe I kept it on here. Submit photo for December Milky Way Photo Challenge. Here's the casualty that is happening right now. Let's see, none of these videos are playing in the background, right? Paused, list, okay. Right on. Like I was telling you, this list comes from all the way down here. I started off last one of the Milky Way season, and then starting from here, no, Aurora Photography is later on. So this, from here on up, are all the Milky Way Wednesdays that were live streamed this year. And then some of them were Milky Way Wednesdays that were pre-recorded, like that one, and that one. Pre-recorded Milky Way Wednesdays that didn't make the list, as YouTube separates those now. So if you're ever curious, you go to the homepage and you can't see any Milky Way Wednesdays, you can always see this playlist. Oh, that playlist is gone. Did I remove it? I guess I removed it. But the playlist right here of live will help you see all my Milky Way Wednesdays, and you can catch up to them in the past. Apple's Tim Cook admitted that iPhones are using Sony sensor. Ooh, interesting information, Mohammed. I am not surprised by that. It's a small sensor, I bet, and works fantastic. So what would be a surprise there? Nothing. So I'm pointing out this link. If you haven't submitted your images yet, you're going to have some time still to submit them, as it looks like we've got several more that have been thrown in. Yaroon hooked us up with his. Chris Woodruff posted. Actually, he posted last time. It was Steve Thompson that's new, because Joe, Chris, and Michael already posted theirs. But Steve and Yaroon. Not Yaroon, but Yaroon. I'm blowing it, Yaroon. Okay, cool. Those two have added. So I want to see some winter Milky Way panoramas. Now, Steve has a regular panorama here, and I love it. But, Steve, you need to put in a winter Milky Way panorama. You, Michael, and Joe have put in a great pano, but we want to see a winter Milky Way pano for the contest. I won't pick yours for the winner, but I would definitely take a moment and celebrate what works well with it, absolutely. So if you're here in the live stream, you go down to the description of this live stream and you'll see submit the photo link, and you click on that, which will take you to the Google Photos folder here that you'll have to join, and then post your picture. And so I have said that it's going to be December 21st. But we have a major problem with that plan on December 21st. So why don't I just start into the episode with one of my favorite tips that I wasn't intending on including, but it's a great reminder of how to use photo pills right here. We'll go into my, oh, you know what? I should probably start sharing my screen, though. Critical step, Aaron. Critical. Wait a sec. Did you just change your Wi-Fi again? No, you're on Photog Adventures Wi-Fi. So then, is reflector not turned on? Maybe reflector isn't on. Maybe that's on me. I thought I had reflector running. Oh, I didn't. Okay, cool. So I'm getting reflector showing up here so that we can go over and see my iPad, and I can use, see, reflector. And 6823. Let me type that in so I have this connected. 6823. Today's episode is going to celebrate a year of Milky Way photography tips, and it's going to celebrate some of my favorite tips to share. And that is going to be a blast to do today. And so let me move this guy over to his location. That works. In fact, I'm going to cover it up that. That's great. That works out maybe okay. Let's split the difference on the white border. There it is. There's split. So down here, photo pills. We're going to go into photo pills. And what I have to show you is my mistake with the calendar. There's a reality that we have to face. Obviously, with the moon, there's a big challenge. But when you're looking at the moon set and the moon rise, it rises at 11:11. And every day, as I click right here, every day that moon rises a little bit later and a little bit later and a little bit later. So it seemed like we'd have plenty of time by next Wednesday, December 21st, for us to submit our pictures for that winter Milky Way panorama. Well, here's the thing. I was looking for the night that I'm going to go out and do it, and one of the best nights is December 21st. So if you remember my previous tips in the past, let me pull them up. Oh, here's my son's pictures, by the way. This guy has some crazy artistic talent. I mean, I think his mom is going to be freaked out by all of this. It just seems like a little bit of a normal little boy who has a fascination with scary things. and I am not worried one bit. You know, I don't think he's going to grow up and be a nut job whatsoever. I think he's an incredible, talented artist. I love the style of this guy right here. Just the artistic style that he chose. I think Mary Beth Kaczynski could appreciate that, and many of you, honestly. So my son is showing great promise as a newly turned 10-year-old boy. But let's get out of this page that we were hanging around with on Mason's Art, and let's go over to my lessons. As I've been teaching, did I leave it here? No, I left it here. I was teaching earlier this year about how to handle a winter Milky Way and some of the key elements that you should be looking for right here. And we were looking at a winter Milky Way. Oh, that's really hard to read. Let me change the background so it's visible. Some of those notes have gone. What about this? That's still pretty bad. How about that? Yeah, that's legible. That's legible. So if you're looking at the degrees of the panorama, a typical panorama as it's making this arch shape, the height of the core, let's imagine the core is this part of my elbow, and it's over here like this, and then the continued Milky Way. This part of my hand is the highest point of that Milky Way arch. And as that goes across the sky, you know, it goes up higher and higher and higher and higher. Well, where that degree marker is on my hand, the highest point of the Milky Way arch, we want it to be between 22 degrees and 52 degrees to keep it from being a hyper stretched wide angle shot. You know, you're going to have a risk of running this into a big lesson if you don't shut up, Aaron. So the degrees you want to look for is 30 degrees to 45 degrees, which is my favorite sweet spot. And so as I was looking at the opportunity on the 21st, I found something out to be horrifying. So here's December 8th. Let's change that to today, and let's go forward in time. And as you're looking, you see these dots, and the dots are showing me right here at the bottom. You can see max elevation is 79.3 for the galactic center, which is negative 79, and the Milky Way max elevation, this dot that's right overhead, is 88 degrees, 90 degrees up in the sky. Let me give you a zoom for that. In fact, where is my zoom? Don't I have? Oh, there's the zoom display. Cool. So what section of my screen are you set up on right now? Zoom display. Oh, I see. You're not accessible. Cool. Here we go. Now I can resize it. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure this zoom is showing you that section that I'm talking about. And then we're going to zoom fat in on that. So this section is a module on the PhotoPills app. You'll see it on your iPhone at the top, or your Google phone. You'll see it at the top of the phone. But in my iPad, it's in the bottom right corner. So we're just going to make this page huge, nice and big, so you can see the elevation numbers that I'm talking about. In fact, I am going to put them right here and not worry about showing this stuff. Let's just say that much is good. That way you can see where I'm playing around with right here and messing with the time. So as I'm watching that elevation number go down from 73, I want it to get at least into 50 what? I want to at least get it into 45. Well, 52 at least, but 45 is my sweet spot. And so, looking at that, I'm waiting more and more time, 3:10 a.m. Oh my gosh. And then I realized the freaking moon has risen. Look at when the moon has risen. The moon rose at, let's see, moonrise, 12:06 a.m. on the 16th. So I started going forward and forward and forward in time, and it wasn't until the 21st. I mean, look at just the 20th. Let's go into the morning of the 20th. And I have a moon that's risen. Okay, right now the max elevation is 57, 55. I'm inside my range. I'm starting to be in a pretty good range. And then the moon rises on me at what? 4:30, and it's at 36 degrees. So the 20th, that morning of the night of the 19th, morning of the 20th, it was a good option. And then the 21st. So we're talking, I'm there doing Milky Way Wednesday, and you are pretty much getting about 1 day or two to capture a new Milky Way, a new opportunity to see the Milky Way at the right position, looking out over into the the west, and being in a proper elevation without a moon. It really doesn't get good until about the 20th of this month. So that means we can't do our workshop. We can't do our Aaron, you need to learn how to speak English. Oh, okay. Let me practice. We can't do our judging of everyone's pictures on the 21st like I was planning. And I am going to be gone on the 28th with my kids. My kids are with me from Christmas through New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and I'm not going to do any Milky Way Wednesday whatsoever. Definitely not. So that means that we're going to have to leak into the new year. My first episode ever of 2023 is going to have to be our celebration of how our December Milky Ways turned out. So that was my, 8-minute long explanation of we need to change the date from handing it in by the 21st to handing it in by the 4th. When I look at pictures, if you hand it in as soon as possible, I'll have time. But if it's in by the night of the 3rd, the day of the 4th, I'll be looking at the pictures and picking my favorite. Even if I picked a favorite by the 2nd, I'll see your picture and go, that's way good. Sorry, you are now the winner of the favorite for that month. So I'll be picking my favorite for December 21st. What did I want to do? Oh, I wanted to go back over to this. So let me see, make sure if I'm putting the dates on here. No, I don't have it by this date, but I can edit that and make sure it says submit photo for December Milky Way challenge here by January 3rd. So January 3rd, is everyone cool with that? You have until January 3rd to give me your Milky Way panorama picture for our first challenge that we'll be doing one every month of all of 2023. And it's going to be a blast celebrating your photography. Okay, cool. So we're only 12, 13 minutes in. It's not the worst, Aaron. I hit a good explanation of how to do the work on your iPad to, hunt things down, scout it, check it. It was a nice reminder. But let's go into another reminder, and let's do the gear one first, just because that one's a little bit more complicated, making sure I have enough room for it. So I'm going to do the gear one first. And it's down here. I've got Sia's Snowman stuck in my head, so if I'm whistling, it's because of that. And so I just can't stop thinking about it. Maybe I shouldn't even do the chat window. Maybe I should do the full me. The full me. So we've got all this gear. I'm going to push this all off to the side because I'm going to use my iPad as a camera to talk about one of my favorite new tips that I learned about star tracking Milky Way photography. Let's go to the camera. Camera right there. I gotta move this out of the way so I can actually see with my camera. And let's go to video format because that'll be good. Alright, so you're gonna get a very, very, very tight version of this, but you can see everything that I'm talking about. Oh, I should turn off the zoom. Let's get the zoom out of here. The zoom, my audio is good. Alright, that minimized. Alright, cool. So we're looking at, can I go wide? Yeah. I can go wider. Perfect. So we have all of this star tracker gear that's going to help us get our star tracked Milky Way, right? Well, how's this for holding position? That's all right. It's really probably dizzying for you. But my favorite thing that I learned this year is twofold. First, when you're dealing with the Milky Way on a tracker, obviously this has been a terrific benefit. As you're working with, say, this gigantic Skywatch Star Adventurer, and it's sitting there massively, you've also got this angle that you've already set your camera on, and you put in, the EQ wedge. Well, this is the EQ wedge. This is the EQ wedge. Or no, is that the declination bracket? This was the declination bracket. This guy, you put that in and you attach to that your ball head, which of course Aaron has lost his ball head in Mono Lake, and I haven't been able to buy a new one yet. So I don't have a ball head. I just have my dual directional panel head. So this right here I can't show off, but when you have that ball head attached, now you're at this funky angle, and so you go ahead and put on your Z bracket, right? And fix that funky angle, and now you're looking at my arm hairs a lot. Now you're looking at having a flat surface to put your ball head on and then work from there. Let's pretend like this is the camera, and now it's on that, and we can look each direction, right? So we've loved talking about star trackers and doing that, and that's so simple, right? Well, let's forget about this Skywatch Star Adventurer for a moment. In fact, just throw it over there. What I want to do, this is very dizzying probably to see the infinity over there. So what I want to do is show off this, and that is going to be challenging. Maybe what I should do is this. put my iPad up like that and show off this side of the world. And I can see what I'm showing off. Hi, there's my moobs. Welcome to the, chin first into my moobs. You gonna stay? You can't stay? You can't stay still? Just compromise. Be still. Hi. This isn't going to stay like I want. Just be a friend. Be a pal. And then I'm going to put my phone under this to tilt it back. Huh? Oh, I think we've got something. All right, so now I got to make sure that my mic can follow me a little bit better. You got both cameras, so hopefully it's not too obnoxious. But as I do this gear thing first, we can get it out of the way of my favorite tip that I learned this year, and I learned it from Alan Wallace. I really love his method for doing this. It really simplifies things, and it makes me not want to use the Skywatch Star Adventure. That's how good the tip is. It makes me not want to use the Skywatch Star Adventure anymore. All right. Okay. Suck it in. Oh, yeah, that looks like abs. Nice. Okay, so then here we're sitting here with looking, okay, I'm on the north. So if you're in the northern hemisphere, you look at this part. Where is that? That needs to be face down. So I'm going to face that towards me and then attach this. So what you have is this dual panel head that only goes one direction, right? It can tilt up and down. So let's treat it this way. So I have it at the right angle. Oh, I'm doing it backwards now. Maybe I should flip that around. Let's pretend like it was facing the right direction and not worry about the exact side I put it on. But I can now twist this towards me, which apparently I have made it as tight as possible. And you're going to angle this. You're going to angle this and point it at the star. So if I am trying with my laser's been attached and it's pointing out this way, and it's shooting a laser beam, then I am going to be shooting my camera this direction, but I'm looking at the North Star, looking at Polaris this way. And with this setup, I don't have to worry about my latitude line. I don't have to worry about where I am on the Earth. I just make myself level, put on my move, shoot, move, put on my laser, and then I move it like this and angle it back as far as I need to be pointing up at Polaris. So wherever I am on latitude, then it will decide if I'm way back here looking straight up or looking at a point, something like mine, which is 38 to 40 degrees here in Utah. So once you got it pointed right at Polaris, you lock it down. And then if it's needing to go right or left, you will have to move your tripod. And that's the one thing that's missing on this setup that can be even more brilliant. A leveling base allows you to rotate this without moving your legs. And that leveling base, I can make it level and then turn right and left until that laser points right on top of the direction of where Polaris is. And then I just go up or down as needed. Laser pointed there. Oh, perfect. Then I wouldn't use this one, but I would attach my Z-bracket, put it up flat, and then put my ball head on it, which I don't have my Allen wrenches right now to make this get loose. Where's my other cool ones? I won't try and find it because it's already long enough gear presentation. So you got this, that's flat now that you can put your ball head on top and then capture your picture. So to really destroy or to really clarify, since I was really kind of quite busy with setting it up, I set myself up using my leveling base, and I've angled it right at where it's going to go right on top of Polaris. Then I move this up and down until, my laser coming off of this is pointing right at it. And when it's pointing right at it, I lock it in. Boom, I'm polar aligned. And now I just make sure my camera and everything is ready to go. It would already be attached typically while I'm doing this, except for my camera. I'd probably do this before and then put my camera and stuff on top. And then once I get my camera, all that gear on, I put my laser on again and go, did I move it? Oh, I kind of did. I'll loosen this a little bit and tip it forward or tip it backward as needed. Small movements with all that weight won't be a challenge whatsoever. So it's my favorite absolute tip that just getting one of these heads plus the leveling base, it's nothing. Okay, what is the weight limit for that, Sharon asks. And to be frank, all I'm going to give you is a anecdotal answer to that. I'm not going to give you numbers. The Move Shoot Move itself has a weight, a pound limit that it can handle, but what's really your focus is that can it hold the lenses that you want? We have gotten a 7200 working on this, an f2.8 7200 working on this without a problem and tracking. And any wide angle lens with your camera body is not going to be too much weight whatsoever. It's when I try and put on, like, say, my Red Cat that I got from Paolo, that one is going to be too heavy for this, and that's where I have to pull in my beefy Skywatch Star Adventurer to get it perfect. But you know, I am tempted to make sure that is true and double check to see how the weight is handled, but it's a bit of high torque on it, and this box doesn't handle it with the gearing in here. It just doesn't handle that much weight. So once you get past the heaviest lenses or the biggest telephoto ones, you'll probably have some issues. But with the regular camera body, like this Canon 6D, this guy with a Rokinon 24mm on here is not too much weight. Even with the L bracket still kept on, it manages the weight just fine, and that's something that I'll have some photographic evidence of coming up. So that is a fantastic, easy way of handling it and getting polar aligned, because a lot of times you're working your tripod legs, making sure you're balanced, but then also you want to turn, and in the Skywatch Star Adventurer, moving it up and down is just a little frustrating. And I don't have the option of just putting this guy on here and angling it back and forth, because there's just no real way of attaching it currently. I would have to put it in an Arca Swiss bracket, but then it goes this way. I'd have the Arca Swiss bracket that then rotates and holds this way, and there's a way to do it, but I haven't set it up for it. And the Move Shoot Move is such small weight and easy to work with, I'd rather have this. I love working with the Move Shoot Move more. The last thing, you may have a little bit of give on this disc. And what you won't know is that, let me get this unplugged, because you're going to need to see this, this direction. Okay. What you won't know is that right here, that screw, get a tiny, tiny, tiny Allen wrench that goes in there, and you tighten that carefully, and you can keep this disc, this puck area, from rotating on you and having some give. Mine's really tight right now. It's in solid shape. But eventually, with, you know, things attached and things moving, because you see how this is the bottom. So I'm on the north, so I'll be putting it on top of this. This is where I'm facing in the northern hemisphere that I'm working with, right? So then this I have to tighten if this gets loose. And movement inside here, and you feel like you got some give, then you do it. That is where you tighten it. I didn't know that until Alan showed our group that when we were out in Crater Lake. So, all right. I hate talking about gear. Gear's so boring to me. All right, cool. Sharon, let me know if you have any more questions. Oh, she says, oh, okay, thank you. Awesome. Okay, here, check out Baby Yoda. How about we kill this right here? Woo. Haha. Okay, keep that running, because we're going to go into our next favorite tip. How much time did I blow on gear? 25. 7:25. What a pain. What a pain. Hate gear. SM Wilkes, howdy y'all from rainy Georgia. We were just talking about Georgia. No, we weren't. Okefenokee. No, it is in Georgia. Okefenokee is in Georgia, but still for Atlanta, it's like 8-hour drive. Georgia's huge. Georgia's huge. Okay, so let's go into my other favorite tip, and I'm going to use this PowerPoint to present it. And I've been using this PowerPoint for my 5 keys to great Milky Way photography. So I'm going to use elements from it right here. In fact, I better kill our chat right now so that I don't have too much of a distraction there. And so now we should be good. And so, knowing your cosmos, and I remind everyone this, that you need to know where the galactic core is. And dealing with the galactic core tells you where the Milky Way season is at. Knowing, oh, okay, galactic core, got a lot of crap in my way. The galactic core is what? It's Sagittarius A. Here's the center. And once that galactic core, that exact spot is above the horizon, that's when you have a Milky Way that says, oh, a Milky Way core is visible. Only that. Once this point right there is above it. But anytime you, let me get the laser pointer on. Anytime, oh, can I draw? I could draw, right? I can draw a line like this. No, I can't. Oh, I could. Something like that is the horizon, right? And now Sagittarius A is below it And so it's hard to draw that. Is below it, and so therefore it says, you know what? Your Milky Way core is hidden. But look at all of this glorious Milky Way that is visible above the horizon still, even though, how do I get rid of this? Right click? No. How about I just go back to a laser pointer? Oh, darn. How do I clear all these? Oh, eraser. All right. Sweet. So then you know that Sagittarius A is the core. Well, what points to it? Sagittarius constellation points up to it. Blah 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 from the kettle. Here's another constellation that does a little bookend. Here's Sagittarius on the left, Scorpius on the right, and these two constellations. These two constellations. You know where the Milky Way core is. Bada boom. Well, my favorite tip, the one that if, Sharon and hanging out with me with SM Wilkes and we were driving somewhere, be like, did you know this? Did you know that Rho Ophiuchi is your guide to where the Milky Way is going to be? Many of you have heard this before, so I'm just going to go through it quickly, kind of quickly. This Rho Ophiuchi is showing off right here at the bottom. You can see that Antares is right there. And we know that wherever this star is, in 1 hour, the Milky Way core will show up. Let me go on a higher one. From here to there, Milky Way core goes right into that circle. So let me show you this Bisti time lapse. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I could probably do it, no problem. Let's go into clip 1, which, it's over there on Hoodoo Village. And I'm going to replace this clip with the Bisti time lapse one. And where did I move it to? I don't think I moved it. I think I kept it in there. So let's go back over to Feb. Oh, no, it has to be in April. Yeah, time lapses. Bisti cracked eggs. Cool. Let's do this one. All right, so now I'm changing it. Oh, you're seeing it already. Sweet. Oh, is that locked? That's funny. Let me bring it back down. And you're still hearing me. Thank goodness. That's good news. But you're not seeing me. Let me bring myself back in. So as you're watching this time lapse go, you'll notice that where the Rho Ophiuchi is, my circle's gone. Where's my circle? I wanted a circle. Let me add my circle from here. Image, add source. Where are you, circle? All right. So now I'm going to put my circle over the Rho Ophiuchi. Let's go smaller. And let's go about... Okay, Antares is right there, so it's somewhere right around here. And then as the Antares is pulling away in this time lapse, you can see how the core is moving into its position and looking pretty solid. I gotta move it over here a little bit and down. So right there, it's roughly where the Rho Ophiuchi Antares star is, and that Milky Way in 1 hour is moving into position, and my time lapse ends just before an hour, which is why it hitches down and loops. But you can see exactly what I'm talking about there. Boom, done, nailed it. Okay, let's move on. So then we talk about another tip that I absolutely love, and it's this. You know what, Aaron? You're too big. No, actually, that's fine. I only blocked the word again. You don't care to see that. So too many dots. I said that in a video, too many dots. Where did I say that? Making sure your lens is as Let's go to clip 2 where you can actually hear me, and let me change this clip to my focus tip, and you will see what I'm talking about. Let's do the getting focus version. Is one of the tougher things to do with your stars, and mostly it's just you fighting with your camera gear, especially when you're really wishing that your star was like a perfect little circle. But it's not. It's more like, all right, cool. I wish I was looking there, so it looks like I'm looking at the video. I gotta sneeze. This shape. You've got this shape that you're trying to go, oh, okay, that's the best, tightest circle I can get. Okay, your stars won't be circles, and how hard it is to get focus, and orbs really it's just a ball that finally have a shape, and that tightest shape that you could possibly make. So I continue on in this video talking about how that tiny, tiny orb is hard to get focus on. And I talk about my Lumi Loop, and the Lumi Loop focus is simple, and you work with this, and I wish I could fast forward this, but eventually I come to the point where I'm talking about the too many dots, and maybe for time's sake, I'm just going to go ahead and skip showing that. So what am I talking about with these too many dots in this video? What am I saying? What am I trying to teach? And I'm going to make it clear with this. As you're looking at an image that's mostly in focus, this is what it looks like. And when you look at it go from focus to out of focus, you notice that stars start to really pop off the screen. And when you're out of focus, the more out of focus you go, the more the stars get out of focus. The more that the higher magnitude stars start to really pop and really show up. And when you get too many dots, you know you're out of focus. So looking at just these in small windows, you can tell, immediately I can see the difference between out of focus frame and in focus frame. All the stars around these rocks, I only really see that planet Jupiter, and all the stars up here, I'm really only seeing the orange of Antares. But when I look at this side, I'm seeing dot 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 dot. Too many dots everywhere. Even when you go from a little bit out of focus from on focus, you can see the difference. This frame, so it's in focus, a little out of focus, a little more, and way out of focus. I showed you this compared to this small, and that is obvious, but even the little bit out of focus to that, you can see the difference. So what am I recommending? I'm recommending that when you're sitting there, you get yourself in focus, you take a picture, and then before you move your camera, you try your focus again, and then do it just as best as you possibly can. Get that orb to shrink down as much as possible, and then you take a picture again. So you haven't moved your camera and you got two images to compare. It doesn't have to be one when you're pointing at your subject. For instance, I got my focus on Jupiter, which was right here above my subject, so I was able to keep my camera in this one position. But typically, I put Jupiter right in the center of my lens, like right here, and that's somewhere off in the sky, somewhere else, and then I get my focus on it, and I take a picture of just that section of the sky, and I look at those stars versus the next set of stars. I won't have a Milky Way in there to work with, or maybe my lit subject, but at least I can see the stars and whether I'm getting too many dots. And so if you do your focus and you feel like you got it, but you have a question, you have a doubt after you've taken the picture, do your focus another time, just another one real quick, and then take another picture and compare them back and forth on the back of your screen. Hopefully you're like my camera where you can just go back and forth one at a time, or back, forth, and as I'm using the paddle that's on the back here, I can see these images, boom, 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 and the A/B test is instant, obvious. Oh my gosh, the one I just took is out of focus compared to the last one. I should get my focus again to take a picture, try it. Oh, boom, here it is working. Or vice versa, you might find out that the one you thought was in focus first, and then you tried one more time and you got that focus. It turns out the one you just barely got is better and more in focus, and once you stop seeing too many dots, you know you've got it. Cool. All right, so now let's get out of this. And you know what? Before I go into the last stuff, I want to let you guys know about something. I've been doing something that is a special offer to those who jump in on this webinar, the 5 Keys to Great Milky Way Photography, and I want to offer it to you guys, but it's only going to be a 10-minute offer. It's only going to be possible to access for 10 minutes. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys this link. Where's the other page with the link? Pull that over here so it's out of the way. There it is. Cool. So I have this bit.ly link that I am going to copy and put in the chat here in a second. But first I want to talk about what the whole benefit is about. I'm teaching brand new Milky Way photographers how to handle a Milky Way shot and teaching them 5 keys. Basically, the keys are dealing with the cosmos, knowing them, knowing when the Milky Way is available, when to go out. Gear. What are the basics that you need with your gear? Currently, with the gear that you have right now, what are the requirements of your camera body and your lens in order for you to go out for Milky Way? I cover those two things first. Then I go through getting your focus, getting your exposure, and having a good composition. Those are the 5 keys to great Milky Way photography. If you can get the right gear and it's going to look like it's possible to get a good image, if you've also know when to go out and you've nailed those, the only thing you really have to do on site is make sure you get yourself in focus, make sure your exposure is going to show that Milky Way well, and then if you can have a good image before that. Just all those 4 things will give you a good image, but with composition considered, that's a 5th That makes it great. With a good with fantastic composition, you will get a fantastic picture. So I take them through all of that. But I want to help them one-on-one, and so I offered some one-on-one help. And so, workshops. Workshops are a fantastic way to get one-on-one help. You want to join me for a workshop? You can always go. Let me just show you this. If you go to workshops.photogadventures.com, you can join me here on a workshop, and I've got my spring ones, 1800, 2000, 1800, 1800. Got my summer/spring, 1800, one night 250, one night 350, one night 250, and so forth throughout the year. And I've also added on, now there's information that needs to be added to all of these, but I've added the dates for 2024. So if you want to start thinking about your 2024 adventures, check it out. These are what I have so far, 9 workshops for 2024. So these are already up, and I just need to make the count me in actually send you somewhere instead of back here. I have to finish that. It has been busier this week than I expected. So while I'm doing that, workshops are fantastic one-on-one help. So I'm telling them about my workshops. But then I also tell them that they can get into my online courses and tell them about which courses are available, the Eric Benedetti course, the Mary Beth Kaczynski Star Trek Milky Way Post-Processing course, my Milky Way courses. Then there's image reviews that they can get from me where they can send me images and hire me to basically hang out with them on a Zoom call and give them feedback on their images. Then I do some post-processing with them. You can also have a one-on-one help for post-processing. So I run them through all of these things. And then I surprise them. And then I'm like, hey, and you know what? You saw the cost of those workshops. Man, if you want to go to one workshop, it's $1,800. And you want to get the courses, you're already running up, a ticket that's really expensive. You buy the courses plus the workshop. And what if I want to go to 2 workshops, Aaron? And so I gave them this. And this is the 10-minute link. So if you have this link, I'm going to get it to you in the chat. Once you click on this, you're going to see this. I'm going to click on it myself. And then you get pulled in to this, this is the Milky Way Photography Primer. So you get yourself 2 workshops of your choice, which cost $3,600. You get the Milky Way course, the Photo Pills course, the Eric Benedetti course, the Mary Beth Kaczynski course, and then you've also got some serious one-on-one hand-holding going on right here. And that hand-holding is terrific. You've got Zoom calls quarterly to make sure that your course is going well. First off, before you even start each course, I'm going to talk to the whole group entirely and say, okay, here's the Milky Way course. Here's how you access it. Everyone should have a link. Oh, did you get in? Oh, Beth, you didn't get in? Okay, let me show you how to get in. Now everyone's on the same page. They're in the course, and then I'll show them how best to use the course. Then I'll show them my email and say, hey, remember, contact me, text me if you need any extra help. So I got one-on-one reminders of how to use the courses, get into them, and then if they literally have any question for 4 times during that year, they can pull me in for a one-on-one 1-hour Zoom call that typically has stretched to about an hour and a half every time, but don't tell anyone because you're going to get basically an hour and a half when I say it's an hour long, but you get help on anything that you need. But then I'm doing the monthly primers, so every month I prepare them for what's coming up, as well as 3 image reviews. Now, it's not 3 images, it's actually image reviews 3 times during the year, and so that's been added in there, plus access to the guild for a whole year for free. And that adds up to $4,500 roughly. And so then I'm saying, okay, this is something for you beginners. I want you to have this, and this is only a 10-minute option for you guys, but for $2,000. I'm only doing it for 20 people. And so I'm going to have 20 people in a class that I'm going to prepare and help them and basically hold their hand through each process of Milky Way photography in 2023. So it's the Milky Way Photography Primer, and for only $2,000, yeah, that's the same price as one workshop. And with only $2,000, you can go to 2 workshops, 2 of them of your choice in 2023 or 2024. So if you feel like you just missed an Astro Primer or one of my one-day sales and you're like, I wish I would have gotten in on that, you can get in on it basically because it's $1,000, but you have to basically get 2 workshops at once. But I throw in all of my online content and access to me that no one has had ever. I've never done this. I've done a Milky Way Primer a few years ago, and 2 guys named John purchased it, they bought it, and then they never actually wanted any of these other things. They were just supporting me, I think, and they didn't need more help. They're so good at Milky Way photography already that they just didn't need me to come in and do more. But if you're a beginner or you have a friend that's a beginner, this is an option. And like I said, it's only 10 minutes. You see that I'm already got the primers closed because I've already opened it up. It knows me that I've opened it up, and yeah, you only have one chance at it. So when you see this with 10 minutes to spare, you're probably seeing the countdown clock yourself. You can click on PayPal and hook yourself up with the $2,000 Milky Way Photography primer. It's the most affordable way to get a master option, like have someone help you master Milky Way photography throughout 2023. So if you have any friends that are getting into this and they want to get into it and they want to go to a workshop with me, this is a very inexpensive way to come to a workshop, on top of having things and assets that will help them be ready for the workshop, and they'll have me specifically checking in on them. Ooh, I'm late, Chris Whiting says. Hey, man, I was just telling everyone about the Milky Way Photography Primer. It's a 10-minute offer that I'm giving everyone right now, but I wanted to let everyone know because I was just using my PowerPoint from the 5 Keys to Great Milky Way Photography. All right, cool. So there we go. Let's get into something else that is one of my favorite tips of 2022, and it's 3C30. Where is the window that I want? I keep clicking on windows and none of them will open up. Maybe I just need to get out of my presentation. Be gone, presentation. Be gone. And Photoshop. Be gone. All right, there's one window. I'm going to close that. Where's the other one? The other one is over there. Did I accidentally close it? Nah. Did I? I actually did. I don't see. Oh, there it is. I'm not seeing it because of that. Oh, wait, what? Oh, I see what's happening here. I have it over here. Sweet. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead. Now, this is going to be me talking about 3C30. And this is going to be audio from a video that I did in a live stream earlier. I'm hoping that it is not horrendous to hear. You guys let me know. I'm going to listen along with you. No, I'm not, because that'll make you listen to it. I'm going to open up my live right here and double check while you guys are doing this. Please enjoy the 3C30 tip. Like this. And let me pull this. I want it to nice be not there. Let's see, group 1. That's the one. Which one is it that is actually running this graphic? I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down to the size of my back of my camera. See, there's the Canon sideways right here on the back of the screen. It says Canon right next to the LCD screen. So that's why I have the Canon vertical right there. So you can see that this screen is sitting there visible on the back of my camera. And you're going to see something a lot like this, and maybe something like this, where you're going to see Scorpius. All right, Aaron, you're taking forever, but here we go. We're going. Caveat, if you go with Clarence Spencer and go to Spencer's Cameras and get yourself Astro modified, at least with this mirrorless Canon EOS R6, I was able to see detail like the Milky Way in the back of my frame while I was using it in live. I had so much more visibility with this camera. With the 5D Mark IV, it's something more akin to this, right? Click, 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 click. Have I gone all the way too far? Let's go start here. It's something more akin to this without the lines of Scorpius constellation, where oh, my mic is off. My mic is off. Sorry, I wanted to pause that video real quick because I want to emphasize what you're learning. Unfortunately, in this live stream right here, as I was shuffling through back and forth, I put it back in a spot that's a little too early. It was like a minute too early. So you had to listen to me kind of ramble into the point. But the point here is that you are going to learn my favorite trick for seeing how to manage a panorama when you can't turn lights on and look at notches on your ball head, or even look at the terrain in front of you. In the daytime, when you're trying to get your overlap and your stitching, you can see subjects, you can see them and work with them, and it's easy to know that you've overlapped 20%, 10%, 50%. You can tell. When it's in the dark and you can't see anything, the only thing that you're really going to see are some stars, which is what I'm showing you here on my camera. You're seeing some stars, and I'm going to show you the 3C3O method of how I get my overlap here in a second. Sharon got her Nikon Z5 done by Spencer's. Yes, nice. I hope it turned out really well, and I can't wait to see your pictures. I hope you share them over in that folder. All right, let me shut up and let me play this. Where the highest magnitude stars are showing up. And I can see here Antares, the nice orange star of Antares. And then I do the third center off rule. And I'm not going to explain that quite yet, but you just see stars on the back of your screen. If you can at least see a couple, where you see one Antares, a bright Altair, a bright Vega, Deneb, or even continuing on to where you see some stars from, here's where the moon is. You can see Cassiopeia. I think I passed north right here. So Cassiopeia, one of these stars is right there. I think you'll see it better here. Cassiopeia, it's part of the Cassiopeia W showing up right there. And once you get some of those stars, they tend to show up in the back of your camera. Okay, so Aaron, what are you talking about with this third center third? Here's a shot from Escalante. In fact, I'm going to zoom in. Although it's going to make it tough to switch. Yeah, it will be. Okay, I can't zoom in, but when you see the full video of this, you'll see it nice big on your screen. So this Altair is showing up on the third. Now I see this one star. I don't see the detail of the Milky Way. I don't see the detail of the rock even though I've low-level lit it. But I am seeing Altair show up on my camera. And I got a dot right there that I have lined up on the third, on the left. Then I do the center with Altair. Then I move it again till Altair is on the right third. And then I move it till Altair goes off camera. Third, center, third, off. So that basically ends up becoming this collection of images where I will use bright stars like Antares at the middle, Antares on the third, with it off, Altair shows up, now Altair's in the center, now Altair's in the third, then it goes off. And then in this particular instance, I saw Brendan here with his tripod, and then you can see. All right, let me pause this. I'm going to pause this right here. So I think it's a good time for me to jump in and maybe just take over from here because you've got enough of the example up on the screen right now. So let me see. Am I listening to anything? Yeah. I think I nailed it. I think I said enough of it right there that I'm good to go. So looking at the third center, third off, it's going to help you have a star, and you're watching on the back of your screen. And I need to get a very good recording of me doing this in person so you can see it on the back of my screen and how it works. Depending on how many stars to how much bright monitoring you have on your Sony, you lucky few, how much you can see, this might be easier for you. But if it's hard and it's in the dark and you're really only seeing one or two stars, use them by doing this. Bring it up on the third. Take a picture, move it till it's in the center, take a picture, move it until it's at the other third, take a picture, and then move it till it just barely crosses off and take a picture. At that point, you typically have a new star that you can use at either the center or the third, and then just continue it until that star is centered, third, off. And you just keep doing those, and you get it with really 3 stars. Like I have Antares, then Altair, and I'm pretty much done by the time I'm done with Altair. I just need one more star with 2 more shots, and that nails a panorama and gives me plenty of overlap to work with to stitch it together properly. And it's no challenge whatsoever to get those stars to show up on my camera body. If I have a Canon, I know I can see it. If you have an Olympus or something that I'm not as familiar with, you might have some difficulty, or you might even have some better sensors that are showing up even more stars. So you just got to pick one that you make sure is in this frame right here at the third, then move your camera, now it's in the center, then move your panel, I'll go this way, panel, then it's over here on the right third, and then take a picture and then move it till it goes off. And now you've done it, and you've taken like 1, 2, 3 off. That's 4 pictures that you've captured, and then your panel head has moved 4 times, and now it continues 3 more, 4 more, and boom, you've got it. You've got your full panorama 180 in front of you, and you've overlapped well without having to turn your light on at all. And so if you have a group of people next to you and you don't want to mess with them, you still can get your overlap easily with the 3C3O method. All right, cool. So we're hitting all these notes just on time. I even shared the 10-minute offer. Yes, okay, cool. So I'm doing everything on time today. Maybe this is a whole new leaf for me. Of course, I'm going to spend all the time celebrating before it's over, and I'm going to go late even though. So this one is an option that is such a cool tip. This is you are on location. What's your favorite way to plan your shot that night? You're on location. What's your favorite tool, Aaron? It is now SkyGuide Pro. SkyGuide is awesome, but if you pay for the extra and you get Pro, then you can get this feature turned on, which allows you to not only see where the Milky Way is in AR, but it's going to keep the foreground and the blue sky of the night as it's, after sunset, and you've got a nice sky that's all similar hue. Using that, it can easily mask out the sky and bring in a visual of the night sky. And that visual of the night sky is now overlapping and underlapping the subject of rocks right in front of you. And so here at Mono Lake, you're going to see me do an example of that, and it is just so cool. My absolute favorite on-site scouting locations app possible. All right, let me make sure that the audio is good. My audio is off. So that is how a compass is on, and once the compass is on, you get these buttons up there if you have SkyGuider Pro features turned on. So let's go back over here. I'm on this video, and you can see that I have the SkyGuider Pro turned on, and it's up in this top left corner. In fact, let's just feature Nils Engel's image a little bit better. Let's go right down here. If we're going to feature it the whole time, we might as well feature it. Look at that shot. Okay, so here are these 3 buttons, and you tap this one, and watch once I tap it. Come on, go bigger. You're not going to let me go bigger? When it's airplaying, I can't do that. Ugh, that's a pain. So let's go ahead, hit play again. Watch when I tap it. See how right now the entire overlay of stars is overlapping everything. But when I hit it, they're only behind my rocks. You see that? The sky is so normal one tone right now that it's actually creating a mask that's blending, overlapping my sky with the visual of what is SkyGuide. And it recognizes that the rocks are the foreground because the sky is so one color that it actually shows them behind the rocks in front. And here's a little tip on sky blending, it popped up. So it's showing me those stars and how they line up behind all these rocks. And because it's not fully dark, I can do this. When it became fully dark and it stopped seeing anything, I could. All right, that's probably plenty right there. Let me bring myself back. So you saw that. These rocks are right in front of me, and I have a really cool blue twilight sky. And dealing with that, it's easy. The mask is simple. It sees what it wants to, fade out, and then bring and keep in is the foreground. So I have these really craggly mono rocks, and, I'll just kind of come off to a full screen. Why not? So you got these really cool rocks that are popping up in front of my face, and instead of seeing my Milky Way, overlap it right here, I'm only seeing the Milky Way back here. So where my hand is, where's my today's random visual aid that's going to be in front of me. I mean, typically my glasses have worked really well. So what we would see is the Milky Way core on top of our rocks, and you kind of try and visualize, through that what it looks like. But if these rocks are showing how the core is going to look like right here, imagine I want to get the core, this part of this, in the middle of these rocks right there, I can actually see it. So I can try and say that it's going to be here, but when I have this turned on and I see it masking right over, I can tell that this rock right here is not going to block this part of my Milky Way while this one is cradling. And if I move my tripod over a little bit more, I can maybe do this tilt, and it's like, oh yeah. What if I do this where the core is right there? That's even better because this rock over here is now cleared, and now I know exactly what this would look like with the Milky Way in the sky, and I know exactly what time the Milky Way is in this position, and I can get myself in this spot again. I love it. I absolutely love it. I know that the AR in PhotoPills is fine. You can see the Milky Way and know that you're moving it. And it's like, yeah, here you go. Burp, 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 burp. There's a Milky Way. I know I'm in the spot. But with this turned on, it's got this confidence-building masking that just, not only is it there, but it's going to be there at this time, and it's also going to fit in between these two shapes. and it's just gorgeous. It's just awesome. Absolutely loved this tip. It's just brilliant. If you haven't gotten the app feature yet, you need to get it. In fact, let me just remind you how to do it by sharing over on this. Let's minimize myself here, and let's go into, I love it. Nilsing was like, OMG. That is amazing. Success. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Here we are right now. Hello. So we're going to go back over to me ePad, and I'm going to show you the app. So here are my base and photography apps. You can see Sky Guide. Not Star Walk 2, not Stellarium, but Sky Guide. And Sky Guide in that app, when you're looking around, you basically see what you're pointing to. Let's get it to Orient. So, all right, it's going right now. Hit the compass. Oh, you're recognizing the compass, and that's where the Milky Way is right now at 7:57. And I have that button. Remember that button I was talking about? Let me move it over here so you can see it. Compass is turned off, but now that button exists right here. See that button? And I push that, and now the AR is going to try and mask. It's like, where can we put the terrain? Can we put it over there? No, it isn't finding any place to try and write it. So it's not going to do any masking, but the only way you're going to have that, and let me go into Cam Chat before I do this, just in case I'm sharing anything private. I'm going to go into my settings and look at my account and see that I have the Pro features turned on, but these are actually grayed out right now. That's funny. But I have an interface of atmosphere and ground. Yeah. But what about these? Yeah, where can I find my current, how much I own? It doesn't say anything about my account. Where's just me? I thought it'd be easy for me to show you what it looks like when you've owned it, but it kind of feels like it's not, because Sky Guide Pro is currently turned off, and I don't know if it's because I'm not logged in. Upgrades, Sky Guide Plus and Sky Guide Pro. You're using Sky Guide with the features you had paid for previously. Sky Guide Legacy. Let me restore purchases and make sure your Sky Guide Pro subscription has been restored. Oh, okay, cool. I can share this screen now. So you can see that right now my Sky Guide Pro is reactivated. I had to go in and refresh it. And so it's downloading all of these, all this information. So I go into settings and you go to upgrades. So let me just show you what I was doing. Right here at the bottom, you got the cog. Open that cog wheel and you should see these pinks white. These right here, these should be white and not grayed out. And if they're accessible, you can change your field of view to have other options like an imaging calculator, which I'm not even sure how to best use that, the screen center. And once you have those showing, you have Pro. I'm not using any of those three for this feature, but it is something that emphasizes that, oh yeah, you got Pro. You have Pro turned on. So you go up into upgrades. And in my case, I had to hit refresh. It currently showed me an option to have what I have currently, Sky Guide Plus and Sky Guide Pro. That's what you might be seeing in your app. So if you have Sky Guide at all, then open it up. And the bad news is that it really only works on an iPhone. I've got this phone right here, which is a Google Pixel. Let me open it up, unlock it, and see if I go into the App Store. Sky Guide app. And I go to Sky Guide app, and I start to see what is Rome. I don't even know how to share my screen on this. Star Tracker, Sky Guide, Star Walk, Star Tracker. When you get this Sky Guide icon, oh yeah, you can't focus anymore. It stopped working. When you get an icon that looks any different than this, if it doesn't look like this icon, you've got the wrong one. There's one on here that has a bunch of like 4-point stars that are blue, yellow, red, and white. That's not the Sky Guide one. It's 2.8 votes, not good. You don't want that one. And when I go to more apps, none of these are Sky Guide because Sky Guide is exclusive to the iPhone and iOS. So I apologize to everyone who is stuck on the Android service. Get an iPhone if you want to use this app. Otherwise, you don't have it. Okay, cool. It's only 8:01. Has this ever happened? Has this ever happened where I finish like this? So I hope some of you took advantage of the Milky Way Photographers primer. If you have any friends that you want to offer it to, share them that link. They should be able to have 10 minutes as well to sign up. So they'll be able to get in on that. And if you have any friends, in fact, I do need to do this. If you have any friends that might be interested, I am doing this presentation again on Sunday. Where's the one that I want to show them? Oh, yeah, here we go. This one. Let's do a copy of that. I'm going to put this in the chat here in a moment. So now you'll see that in the chat, Aaron King has pasted this new bit.ly link. And this bit.ly link, when you click on it, it's going to open up this sign-up sheet for coming to the webinar. It's at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Let me just zoom in a little bit on this so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Calling all beginning Milky Way photographers. Join me for a live stream Sunday, December 18th, where I'll take you through my 5 keys to great Milky Way photography. Mastery of these 5 keys will guarantee that you are successful in your next adventure out for Milky Way. I know that with a little help from me that you can master the rundown. I know that with a little help from me, you can master the tips and techniques I share in this webinar. You will see instant improvement in quality on your images. So this webinar, they can go ahead and give me their email and their first name, and I will give them the link, because this is a private video, unlisted. No one can find it just by going to Photog Adventures. So if you go to my Photog Adventures YouTube page, go home, you're only going to see the live that's happening right now, and then in a couple minutes you won't see that, and you only see the upcoming Nightscaper interview where I'm interviewing the guys from National Parks at Night. That's happening on Monday, by the way, Monday at 11 a.m. So I'll be reminding everyone in my email list about this, but you can come join us and learn more about the National Parks at Night guys. But you won't see my Sunday presentation on there. You have to be signed up. Give me your email address. I'll email you the link, and then I'll give you PDFs for the presentation as well that you'll need. It's December 18th, this Sunday, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And so it's a webinar presentation, not like a Milky Way Wednesday. I use that PowerPoint. These are some of the slides from the PowerPoint that they can see, what's going on. It's about an hour long. All right, cool. I think I've given all the information out, and it's only 8:04. We are getting slower. Have a good night, Sharon. Thanks so much for the information. I'm glad that you felt like there was informative. Awesome. Thanks so much. I want to remind everyone about the schedule for our challenge of Milky Way Wednesday. Next Wednesday, the 21st, I am not going to be live. I know, I'm not going to be live. I won't be back until January 4th. Today was the last live stream that I will do this year. I will be back. There'll be a pre-recorded video that I put together for Wednesday that'll come up at 7 p.m. for those that are not aware of this change. But I'm going to be out doing my photography. I have to do it then. Otherwise, I won't get it in before I have my kids for winter and Christmas. So I'm going to be out doing photography that night. And so I'm going to have some fun getting my Milky Way panorama, and I'm going to use those nights during that time to go and do it. So I will not be live next Wednesday. You shouldn't be here either. You should be out as well, capturing your Milky Way panorama, your winter one. So there'll be no Milky Way Wednesdays for 2 weeks, and we'll be back January 4th. Daryl says, I need to do a workshop or at least a meetup in Okefenokee. Yeah, I should. I've never actually been to Okefenokee, and it would be really fun to do and teach beginners out there. Daryl, if you have a photo club or something in your area that would like that kind of what would you say, 6-hour drive for you, let me know, and maybe we can organize something that I can come out and teach your photo club, and then say meet tomorrow at this time at the Okefenokee Swamp, because it won't be that same night, obviously. It's way too far to drive. So we say we have a presentation at like Tuesday night, and then say meet Wednesday night, or presentation Friday night, and then take Saturday to drive out there, and we'll meet somewhere. And what will be interesting is to try and find a location from my couch using all my from home methods of scouting to find a good spot in Okefenokee. when we're looking at the eastern Milky Way Panorama rising, be earlier in the year, whether or not it's traversable. That'll be interesting. He says, I'll see what I can do. That should be fun. Awesome, Daryl. That'd be fantastic, man. That'd be great. I can meet you in person as well as get a chance to meet some more people out there in that area. So that'd be awesome. So thank you so much. Thanks for coming to a Milky Way Wednesday. Again, I'm Aaron King with Photog Adventures. Milky Way Wednesday is one of my favorite things to do, and I can't wait to come back next year with a little bit more change to it and having fun with the challenges every month and giving away my Milky Way, my Photog favorite of each month of who does a great shot. Chris Whiting says, cool, I'll capture winter Milky Way panel, maybe from Mono Lake. Oh, dude, in that video you said, I haven't been to Mono Lake in a while. You got to do it. In fact, you'd be looking directly over the water, too. That could work out really well. Yeah, okay. Let me know. You will let me know how it goes. I want to see your picture. Hopefully that is where you end up going, Chris, and I can see that picture posted up in the folder, okay? I'll remind everyone in the emails about not being here for the next 2 weeks. Back after the holidays, January 4th, we'll be doing our presentation of all the images. I'll be celebrating all the greatness in each image and doing a moment of envy on them. My favorite 10, if I have too many, it'll just be 10 that I do. And then the top 5 of those, I will announce the winners and then give the number 1, the Photog Adventures favorite, the Photog favorite of the month, and I'll feature him over, everywhere that I can, in my Instagram and the website, all that stuff. Just celebrate who he or she's images and what it turned out and just how awesome it was. Okay, cool. I didn't miss any chat. Looks like we're good. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. It's 8:07. This is like one of the earlier closeoffs that I've done in a long time. Have a great night, and I'll be back in 2 weeks. I should have done a thanks for watching with back in 2 weeks, but that's okay. Win says, thank you, Aaron. I'll share your information to my guys. Oh, awesome. Please do. If you have any people who want to join me Sunday, give them the link to sign up, or you can give them straight to the link to sign up for the photography primer, because I want to get some beginners in there. I'd love to fill up that class and just have a blast all throughout the year, holding hands and making the masters of Milky Way photography. It'll be fun, and they get to come out to 2 workshops, so you can't beat that. All right, have a good one. I've already saluted you, but I'm going to salute you again. Have a great Christmas. Enjoy your holidays. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your time off. Enjoy your camera and go out to Mono Lake, but not on the night that Chris goes. You'll ruin his shot. I'll see all your pictures coming up in 2 weeks, and we'll celebrate them together. All right, later.